Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we untangle the stories hidden in corporate filings and turn corporate jargon into common sense. Today we're diving into AMREP Corporation's latest filing, and let's just say it is about more than just numbers. It is about what those numbers actually mean for the company. Alright, let's jump right into it. AMREP Corporation has just filed a Form 8K, which is basically a report for significant events that shareholders should know about. On the 12th of December of 2025, AMREP Corporation put out a press release that talked about their financial results for the periods ending the 31st of October of 2025. This press release is being attached to this report so everyone can see it. Now, one of the most important things in these reports for any investor is often what is happening with the company's stock. AMREP Corporation's common stock, which has a par value of 10 cents, is traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol AXA. The stock exchange is a place where people buy and sell parts of companies, and the New York Stock Exchange is one of the biggest and most well-known. The core of this filing, the meat of the story, is in Item 2.02, which covers the company's results of operations and financial condition. This means we get a look at how the company performed financially. The press release itself, Exhibit 99.1, is where the actual financial numbers for the 3 and 6 month periods ended the 31st of October 2025 are reported. Think of this press release as the company's direct communication about its performance. We're not going to get bogged down in the nitty-gritty legal language that often surrounds these filings about whether the information is filed or furnished. What matters is what AMREP is telling us about their financial situation. So, what is the story these numbers are telling us? Well, the filing indicates that AMREP Corporation is reporting on its financial results. While this particular 8K doesn't contain the detailed financial tables within itself, it points directly to a press release that does. This is common practice where key financial updates are shared first through a press release and then formally submitted to the SEC as part of a larger filing. The purpose of this type of report, an 8K, is to announce significant events. In this case, the significant event is the release of financial results. These results give us a snapshot of the company's health and its performance over specific periods. Specifically, they are reporting for the 3 and 6 month periods that ended on the 31st of October 2025. This means we're looking at how the company did in the most recent financial quarter and then also looking at a half-year picture. When we look at these kinds of results, we want to understand if the company is making more money, if its expenses are under control, and what that means for its overall value. Are they growing? Are they shrinking? Are they facing challenges? The press release, which is part of this filing, is designed to answer these questions directly for investors and the public. Now let's think about what AMREP Corporation does. This is important context. Without knowing their business, the financial numbers are just abstract figures. AMREP, as a publicly traded company, operates in a specific sector. Understanding their industry, whether it is real estate, technology, manufacturing, or something else, helps us interpret their financial performance. For instance, if they are in a booming industry, we might expect strong growth. If they are in a more challenging sector, we might be looking for signs of resilience. The fact that they are reporting these results means they are complying with regulatory requirements. Public companies have to be transparent with their investors and the market. This 8K filing, by including the press release, is fulfilling that obligation. Looking at the structure of the filing, we see the standard information you'd expect: the company name, its stock symbol, where it is incorporated, and its tax identification number. Also important is the contact information. Although we're not focusing on that today, we're interested in what the company is saying about its performance. The specific instruction to make this report not deemed filed for certain purposes under the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 is a legal nuance. It essentially means that while the information is being provided, it doesn't carry the same legal weight in certain contexts as a formal filing might. However, for us as viewers trying to understand the company's performance, the information is still valuable. The filing also lists the exhibits. Exhibit 99.1 is the press release with the financial news, and Exhibit 104 is the interactive data file, which is often used for automated processing. Now, for a company like AMREP Corporation, the most critical part of these reports is always the financial condition and results of operations. While this 8K refers us to the press release for the details, the core story is about their financial health. When we see financial results, we're looking for trends. Is revenue increasing or decreasing? Are profits growing? How are their assets and liabilities looking? These are the fundamental questions that drive investment decisions and give us insight into the company's trajectory. The dates are important. The results are for periods ending the 31st of October 2025. This gives us a very current look at the company. The fact that the report is dated the 12th of December 2025 means there was a relatively quick turnaround between the period end and the public disclosure, which is generally a good sign for transparency. If we had the actual financial tables here, we'd be able to pick out specific numbers like revenue growth percentages, profit margins, or changes in debt. For example, if revenue increased by, say, 15%, that tells us the company is selling more products or services. If profit margins improved, it means they are becoming more efficient at generating profits from their sales. Conversely, a decline in revenue or profits would signal potential problems that need further investigation. Think of it like this. If a store's sales went up by 20%, that means for every 5 items they sold last year, they are now selling 6 this year. This usually points to good things like popular products, effective marketing, or a growing customer base. If profits went down by 10%, it means for every $10 they made after costs, they are now only making $9. This could be due to rising costs for materials, more competition, or less efficient operations. The context of the broader market is also very relevant. Is the entire industry growing, or is AMREP underperforming its peers? Were there any major economic events during the reporting period that could have impacted their results, like changes in interest rates, consumer spending, or regulatory shifts based on the information provided through this 8K and the reference press release? The story is about AMREP Corporation sharing its recent financial performance. The true depth of that story, however, will be found within the actual financial figures presented in the press release. Our job here at Corporate Decoder is to help you understand what those figures might mean, even when they're presented in a summary filing like this. So, looking at AMREP Corporation's filing, what is the take? AMREP Corporation is doing what it is supposed to do, which is report its significant financial events. The filing points to a press release detailing their results for the 3 and 6 months ending the 31st of October 2025. This is a straightforward disclosure. The strength here lies in their compliance and transparency in providing this information. The weaknesses, or rather the unknowns from this specific document, are the actual financial numbers themselves, which are referenced but not fully detailed here. There are no immediately apparent significant risks or opportunities mentioned in this particular summary filing, other than the general business risks inherent in operating as a public company. This report is essentially a signpost directing us to the detailed financial results. AMREP is clearly operating and reporting, which is the baseline for any public company. The true assessment of their direction, strengths and weaknesses will come from a deep dive into the press release they furnished. Alright, that is our breakdown of AMREP Corporation's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.